It's a beautiful day for baseball. And live from Nationals Park in Washington, D.C., Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Washington Nationals in game 1.5 of this 3-game series. Last night, a not-so-funny thing happened. The Dodgers and Nationals played a total of 1 hour and 34 minutes. They were delayed a total of 2 hours and 2 minutes. There were 3 delays, and baseball's oldest cliche is 3 strikes and you're out. And by the 3rd time the delay came because of the light problems down the left field line, the game was called, and it's going to resume here in just a matter of minutes. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garciaparra. So it's a very weird night. Last night, there are 4 innings left to be played today. The Dodgers trail 3-2. So they've got a limited time to come up with at least 1 run, and Chin-Wei Sao, we think, is going to pick up where he left off last night.
He did, and he will have to respond to a bad outing, and usually that's for another game, but Chin-Wei Sao last night will resume in the same game, but he gave up a double to a pitcher starting out with an abbreviated warm-up because of the delay, and then right after that, the leadoff hitter Escobar goes deep and puts Washington on top. He might be on the mound when we start, but we're on offense, and we're going to have to get some runs.
Well, Adrian Gonzalez started off the first half with a bang. Well, he started off the first game with a bang as well, hitting a 2-run home run to put the Dodgers on the board. And as we mentioned, they're going to be looking for that small ball, which I think is going to define the Dodgers for the second half. They're going to need it to put some runs up to win this game and hopefully do that for the next one.
So it's a 4-inning game in the first of this doubleheader, sort of, this afternoon here in Washington. Kershaw pitches the other game. Getting ready to resume where we left off last night, right after this. Zoom, the second game of this 3-game series. 3 delays due to bad lighting here in Washington. No such problem as we're playing in the middle of the afternoon, 86 degrees. And about a 20% chance of rain between now and the end of the day. Tanner Roark, who pitched an inning last night and struck out the side on 7 pitches, will be facing Justin Turner, Adrian Gonzalez, and Yasmani Grandal. Chin-Wei Sao will pick up where he left off when we get to the bottom of the 6th. So this is an unusual game in that it's divided into 2 parts. It's a 4-inning game at this point, fellas. The Dodgers need a run to tie, and presumably they're going to be attempting to play some small ball.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, going what's going to define the Dodgers. We know they've relied heavily on the long ball thus far in this season. They even had that yesterday with Adrian Gonzalez's home run. But it's really going to define them late, especially against a good team such as the Washington Nationals, if they're able to figure out how to get just a run without relying on the home run, doing the little things, moving guys over, sacrifice flies, things of that nature, and that might be critical in the second part of this game.
So Turner, Gonzalez, and Grandal, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, will begin here in the 6th inning. And at this point, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 3 runs, and 4 hits for the Nationals. First pitch is a call strike, and it's 0-1. Turner flied to center field and was hit by a pitch. He would come around to score in the 4th inning last night on the Adrian Gonzalez home run that gave the Dodgers their brief lead. And on 0-1, we are all even at 1-1. Justin Turner at .308 with 11 home runs and 39 runs batted in. Giants won last night in 12, so as of the moment, the Dodger lead over San Francisco is exactly 4 games. As soon as this game is done, about a half hour after it's all over, it'll be Doug Fister and Clayton Kershaw. A small crowd here at the moment, and there's perfectly good reason for that. This part of the day was not scheduled for baseball until last night's electrical delays, so the folks who are here now, countless dozens of them, are here actually early for the main event, which begins at 4 o'clock. Nationals in first place in the National League East. Roark misses high, and it's 2-2.
So you think some of these people came to watch batting practice and said, oh no, there's a game going on?
Yeah.
Gonzalez on deck, and Turner stays alive.
You know, to expand on the topic that Nomar's talked about with the Dodgers needing to learn to play a little bit more small ball and situational hitting, if you think of the 2 offensive categories that they're outstanding in, of course, home runs leading the National League, and then walks with on-base percentage. But when you play good teams and face good bullpens and good starting pitchers, they don't give up many home runs and they don't give up many walks. And so they're going to need to hit the ball in the strike zone for base hits a little bit more.
Turner down on strikes. So since last night, when Roark retired the Dodgers in order in the 5th, he struck out 2. He picks up where he left off, striking out Turner, 1 out in the 6th.
I think Matt Williams last night saw Tanner throwing the ball so well that he let him lead off the next inning, even though they were down a run. And they said, well, this guy's got such great stuff tonight. The zeros are going to be really important. And then Roark rewarded him with not only the good pitching, but the double that started the rally.
Now Adrian Gonzalez takes high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Gonzalez walked and hit the 2-run home run down the right field line last night. It was his 19th of the year.
I remember after the inning last night, Nomar, we put our headsets down after the inning and we said, wow, look at that stuff.
He threw 7 pitches and all of them were strikes.
And there's another one.
You talk to a lot of the people around the Nationals and they say he's got great control, good command. Usually you think a guy with command, okay, throws below 90 miles an hour at that fastball. He gets it up there to 92, 93 miles an hour.
A 15-game winner last year, really the full year in the rotation, and then lost his starting job, but is now a candidate maybe to sneak back into their rotation as well as he's throwing the ball.
A big old Illinois boy, 6'2", about 240.
It feels like we're playing baseball at the Masters right now with the crowd noise.
Inside study hall.
Yeah, it's like a museum.
Again, the regularly scheduled game, roughly 4 o'clock Eastern time. Into left field, heading on back is Clint Robinson, and it is gone, a home run. Adrian Gonzalez goes the other way. His second of the game, his 20th of the year, and the Dodgers have tied it at 3.
One thing about the early start, the ball's going to carry better. Last night, the ball was dying on the warning track. A lot of fly balls from the Dodgers and the Nationals, but here, Adrian going the opposite way.
Adrian had a great swing on his last at-bat, hitting the home run to right field, getting on top of a fastball. This one, he realized they're going to stay away from him, just drives it the other way.
Now Yasmani Grandal lines it right back into the glove of Roark. So the Nationals 3, Adrian Gonzalez 3. Gonzalez a 2-run home run in the 4th inning last night, and the solo blast here in the 6th. Adrian, a model of consistency. You basically know when the season begins, he's going to hit right around 300, hit about 25 to 30 home runs, and knock in 100 to 110 runs. Well, at this point in the season, he is at 20 home runs and 58 runs batted in. Last year, of course, he led the majors with 116 runs batted.
So he's right on schedule, is what you're saying.
And a short left center, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Yasiel Puig with a due drop in. And for a moment, he gave some thought to going to second.
Well, in yesterday's game, Yasiel was joking around with Alana saying, it's just my luck. I haven't got a hit in probably all this month, or it's felt that way. I finally get a hit in the game, and they're going to suspend it. It's not going to count. Well, yesterday's counted, Yasiel, and so does this one. So you got 2 so far in this game.
So he's 2 for 3, and you remember last night he hit one to deep right, and that spun Bryce Harper around. Now Andre Ethier. It's hard to believe we've been on the air 5 minutes, and Ethier's already 0 for 2.
He's going, thanks a lot.
He lined back to the box against Jordan Zimmerman last night and then flied to center. Well, this year we have seen and witnessed and experienced many unusual things on these road trips, and this is just another on the long list. And Ethier lines it into the glove of Espinosa, and that will end the inning. But Andre Ethier lines out. It was Adrian Gonzalez who hit a home run the other way. His 2nd of the game, his 20th of the year, and we've got a brand new game after 5.5, tied at 2 in this game. A walk last night, a 2-run home run, and then the solo shot to begin the matinee portion of the second half of the second game of the 3 games here. Chin-Wei Sao will pick up where he left off last night, and when he started out pitching the bottom half of the 5th inning. Tanner Roark, the first batter he faced, would double. Yadiel Escobar would hit a home run. Escobar has homered and doubled and scored 2 so far. And then after that, he would settle down. So now we've got a new game, and basically we're down to a 3.5 inning game all time.
It is definitely a bullpen game, and the time for where 1 run is key. And Adrian Gonzalez's home run that tied it up, key for the Dodgers. And now Sao getting a First time he came into the game, he came in with a lead. And he slept overnight and was down by 1, and now he's back tied. He's experienced a lot in 24 hours.
Ian Desmond's just having a terrible. He's 0 for 2. He's under 210. Made a couple of dozen errors. He swings and misses. No balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Moore is on deck. Michael Taylor to follow. Desmond on the year, 7 home runs and 24 runs batted in. Jin-Wei Sao delivers and is fouled off to the right.
Desmond's tough year has got to really sting with that 209 average when he turned down a 7-year deal last year. Wanted to continue to play out the string and see if he could get even a better deal. The pressure will mount on him to have a good second half to maybe recapture some of that negotiation leverage.
To salvage almost anything. Max Scherzer, on the other hand, took that calculated risk and parlayed it into a gazillion dollars. And the investment is paid off handsomely for Washington. Desmond on 1 and 2. Pokes it in the right. At Puig. That's the first down to the bottom of the 6th. And here comes Tyler Moore.
You mentioned Max Scherzer. We'll get to see that great pitching matchup between he and Zach Greinke tomorrow. Max Scherzer, when he first bursted on the scene, was just a great arm with great movement and power stuff. And then at Detroit, when he was with the Tigers, he really started to become a pitcher. And now he is just a finished product.
Dodgers saw him when he was in Arizona when he first broke in.
I remember that. I remember facing him. Him coming out of the bullpen with Arizona was not a comfortable at bat.
Tyler Moore pops it up, left side, and there's Turner.
I know that we talked about a suspended game, which pretty much both teams have the exact same lineup coming into this game. Well, even the umpires are staying in their same positions as well. I was noticing that, wondering if they might have switched around as well. That could also affect the game, different strike zone, but now you still have Jim Wolf back there, Adrian Johnson at first, Bill Miller, and Doug Eddings at their respective positions.
Jim Wolf calling balls and strikes in his 17th big league season. The older brother of Randy Wolf, a couple of Valley boys out of West Hills. So now 2 out, nobody on, and here is Taylor playing in center field. Art Span out with a bad bat. The Nationals have just been decimated by injuries. A ground ball foul, and third base coach Bob Hendley with a good hand. Ryan Zimmerman on the DL. Of course, Strasburg on the DL. Span on the DL. Dan Ugla in the on-deck circle. So Roark, his work apparently is done. Bullpen activity for the Nationals. We'll see if Roark will pitch another inning if Taylor makes an out. Aaron Barrett looks like there's a fellow warming up in the Nationals bullpen. 0-2, 2 out, 6th inning. So Jin-Wei Sao, after giving up that home run to Escobar last night, has struck out 2 and retired 5 straight. We'll go to the 7th. Rollins, a pinch hitter for Sal, and then Peterson coming up, tied at 3. In time to take a look at the Dodger calendar presented by 76. Circle tomorrow morning. As you get ready to watch the Dodgers and the Nationals have at it at 10:30. Our game later today has Kershaw going against Doug Fister. Then tomorrow, Greinke and Max Scherzer. Then it's on to Atlanta. Monday and Tuesday, late afternoon Pacific time. Wednesday is a morning game, noon in Atlanta. Then next weekend, the Dodgers will be in New York, and Aaron Barrett is now on in relief. Roark went 2 innings and gave up 1 run and 2 base hits and the home run to Adrian Gonzalez. And that is how we are now tied heading into the 7th inning. Jimmy Rollins will be leading it off. Alex Guerrero is in the on-deck circle. And the Dodgers have bullpen activity. Joel Peralta. So when we came on the air about 25 minutes ago, we were talking about small ball, and here we are. It's going to be pitcher by pitcher and batter by batter down the stretch. 3-3 here in the 7th. Rollins 0 for 2. Fouls it off his foot, and it's 1-1.
In general, when you get into bullpens, it's guys that can strike people out. It's bigger stuff. It's guys that have a lot of adrenaline running through their body because they know they have a short outing in front of them. Like with Aaron Barrett on the mound, he ranks 10th among National League relievers with strikeouts per 9 innings. Up there at 12.09.
Escobar. 1 down.
Going to have to find a way to squeak out a run against the bullpen.
I wonder how it is for a bullpen. The difference of now, as you mentioned, that adrenaline rush coming in, but they usually just, they get to watch some of the game. It kind of builds up, and they're not watching. They're like, all right, you better get that adrenaline quick. You're in there.
Yeah, you're so right. Their routines are out of whack just as much as anybody's.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are, the guy who thinks he's going to be the 7th or 8th inning guy, he's stretching around the 3rd inning. He's playing catch with maybe one of the outfielders in the 6th inning. And then he's, okay, I'm up possibly in the 7th, and I've gotten to see the hitters.
Guerrero into right. Got a routine play for Bryce Harper. 2 out and nobody on, and it'll bring up Jock Peterson.
It's a potent rookie combo when Alex Guerrero hits for the pitcher, and then Jock Peterson coming up with all the home runs in those 2 slots, the 9-hole and now the 1-hole.
Each, however, has struggled over the last 37 games. In the last 37 games, Peterson 3 home runs, hitting 179. Guerrero hasn't hit a home run and is hitting 155. So the Dodgers need them to start stepping it up. Peterson takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. Peterson, in his first at bat last night, singled to left. 2 things unusual about that. He singled and it went to left. And he swung to the other side and passed. Desmond, boy, he is just having a terrible time of it this year as Peterson arrives at second base.
Excellent job by Jock Peterson. I mean, right out of the box, he was hustling, and that ball was hit at the shortstop. You see the ball where it's hit. You got, okay, Ian goes to his right a little bit, but he just takes the extra base after this, does not slow down, and that is huge right now. We talked about that, about the small ball, but it's the little things. It's the hustle. Okay, recognizing, hey, I can get the extra base. There's 2 outs, and I can get into scoring position.
Worthy of the Arango slow-mo camp. And the other thing notable, he went to the other side yet again.
Exactly. Taking the ball to left field right there. Kept 2 hands on the bat. Looked a little bit more under control with that swing.
And so with the error, the Dodgers have a runner in scoring position for Howie Kendrick, who's 0 for 3. Kendrick has really prospered batting in the 2nd spot. Since moving to the 2nd spot in the order 17 games ago, he's hitting .343 and has had 3 4-hit games along the way. all year he's been among the most clutch hitters for the Dodgers. Turner on deck. Lead run in Peterson with good speed at second base.
You've talked about, Nomar, how that 2-hole is a great slot for Howie. How even when he makes an out, he's going to feel like he's having a good game.
Yeah, because his strength, we all know, is staying inside the ball and going to right field, staying up the middle to right field. And there are times when man on base is open, they're holding him on, so that spot, that area could be open. Situation, I know there's 2 outs right now, but if he finds himself coming up with a man on second base, less than 2 outs, so even if he goes to the right side, he at least moves the runner over. So little things like that, you can capitalize on his strengths.
Kendrick at 371 with runners in scoring position, and that is precisely where Peterson is at second base. 1-2, 2 out. Couldn't pull back. Kendrick down on strikes. No runs, no hits, an error, and 1 man left. 7th inning stretch. And the Dodgers and Nationals are tied at 3. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by your Southern California Kia dealers. Visit mysocalkia.com to learn more. New pitcher for the Dodgers, Joel Peralta. So Chinwe Sao, an inning last night, an inning today. When all is said and done, 2 runs, 2 hits in 2 innings in 2 days. So here's Peralta making his 16th appearance. An ERA of 3, 8 strikeouts, and 5 walks in a dozen innings. He'll be facing Dan Uggla to lead it off. Pitch hitting for Barrett, then the top of the order. So the 39-year-old Joel Peralta. And his first pitch. Wide of third, nicely played by Turner, and he gets him by a half a step. If that was going to get past Turner, Uggla was going to beat it out.
Ranging far over to his left. Even though you know the shortstop is there or has a chance at it, you have a better angle that way, or not necessarily a better angle, but you get to it first because you know a guy's hustling down the line. Usually when you're communicating with your shortstop tells your third baseman, get anything you can, that's fine. And he was able to get to that one.
1 pitch, 1 out in the 7th. And Yunel Escobar enjoying a career year. A double and a home run. He has driven in both, or 2 of the 3 runs for the Nationals into short right. Kendrick having trouble, lost it in the sun.
And you saw that right when it went up as Howie, I mean, he was trying to ask for help. He just tried to block it and then put his arms up like, I can't see this. There he's trying to block it. And then he's like, okay, I've lost it. There he's going, where is it? Those, you just feel so helpless out there. You're like, it's right in the sun. I don't know where it is. And you know it's a pop-up. You feel absolutely awful because it's an out, and you can't come up with it for your pitcher.
So meanwhile, Escobar, his second double of the game. He's 3 for 4. Danny Espinosa coming up. Espinosa is 1 for 3. Got a board on an error by Bolsinger back in the first inning. Then Bolsinger on an infield hit twisted his knee and trying to field a little squibber off the bat of Espinosa. There was some question about whether or not Bolsinger could continue in the third inning. He was able to. Espinosa would also pop to short. J.P. Howell is warming in the Dodger bullpen. Casey Jansen is warming in the Washington bullpen. There's a great sense of urgency about this game having begun in the 6th inning. At that point, the Dodgers trailed by a run. The Gonzalez home run evened the score, and here we are with 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the 7th.
You mentioned the early exit of Mike Bolsinger. Talking to him, he was really worried about his knee last night because he actually hurt his leg in the minor leagues on that same exact play where he flipped over on a PFP play like that and hurt it. He felt the same pain, but fortunately it was not hurt.
2-0 to Espinosa. Peralta overthrows 3-0. Well, the Nationals' best player, and arguably the best player in the National League this year, Bryce Harper, is on deck. And that is why J.P. Howell is warming in the bullpen. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Kendrick losing a pop-up in the sun. As Escobar at second base. There's a strike, 3-1.
It would not be a good walk to get to Bryce Harper. You really want to attack right here, even though a man in scoring position and first base open. You really need to attack the strike zone.
And then planning ahead, if he's able to get Espinosa, you can bet your bottom dollar Bryce Harper will be intentionally walked.
For sure.
Here's a 3-1. 3-2.
Outstanding pitcher's pitch. Game on the line here, late innings. 3-1 fastball count with Bryce Harper on deck, but you throw the fastball and you just dot the corner. Outstanding pitch from Peralta.
So now it's 3-2. Espinosa has 10 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Knotted at 3 with Escobar. Decent speed, a short lead at second. But again, last year the Nationals beat the Dodgers 4 out of 6. 2 out of 3 here and 2 out of 3 back at Dodger Stadium. We had a couple of epic rain delays here last year. So last night, just 3 little power failures with small potatoes. Don't forget, a half hour after the completion of this game, Clayton Kershaw and Doug Fister. Now the 3-2. One more time.
From your boxing days, Charlie, it feels like this is the undercard.
Waiting for the main event.
The heavyweight.
Yeah. Tomorrow. Oh, those are the super heavyweights. Greinke and Scherzer, the two best pitchers in the National League this year.
It's somewhat sacrilegious to think that Clayton Kershaw's not one. He's on the undercard.
Won't be for long.
Well, he's Clayton of old right now. He is locked in. It's wrong to say Clayton of old.
At 27.
Yes.
On 3-2. Into left field. Ethier.
Well, the Dodgers are going to have to get 4 outs this inning because of the pop-up lost in the sun by Howie Kendrick. But Joel Peralta, outstanding comeback from a 3-0 count there to be able to intentionally walk Bryce Harper right here. Bryce digging in the box and manicuring the batter's box, but I don't think he's going to get to use it.
If there's not an intentional walk here, we're in the right city for that, a federal investigation.
Digging in, I mean, Grandal could have just said, hey, don't worry about that, we're walking.
Yeah.
No.
So Harper in this game has been intentionally walked now twice, walked another time, and had a fielder's choice RBI in the 3rd inning.
The Dodgers haven't played a full game against the Nationals this year, but they've walked him 17% of his intentional walks for the year. I think he's got 11 now.
No, this is actually what's amazing is in his first 3 years, he was walked intentionally 8 times. This is now the 11th time he will have been intentionally walked this year. 11 this year, 8 altogether in the previous 3 seasons. So up to the minute is indeed 11.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, it just shows the maturity that he has grown as a hitter. And now you know what a threat he is. And 2, the fact that the Nationals have dealt with a lot of injuries and not have the guy behind them that are also protecting him, so it forces you to pitch to him.
So here comes Mattingly, and presumably he'll bring in J.P. Howell to face the left-handed hitting Clint Robinson. I'll take the ball if you don't mind. Thank you. So Robinson will hit. Howell is on his way in. 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 7th. Dodgers and Nationals are tied at 3. On 2 out, tied at 3, and here is the T-Mobile Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming telecast brought to you by T-Mobile. So J.P. Howell is now on in relief to face Clint Robinson. Peralta goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up a hit, one that was lost in the sun by Howie Kendrick, and with Escobar at second base, with 2 out. Bryce Harper would be intentionally walked. And so here's Robinson. Here's to you, Mr. Robinson, who was with the Dodgers in spring training, but made the opening day roster for the Nationals and has done very well. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. We're talking about him last night, the polar opposite of Bryce Harper. Harper was an instant celebrity when he was 16. And Robinson, at the age of 30, finally made his first opening day roster. 4 home runs, 15 runs batted in. 2 on and 2 out.
It was the first year that Robinson made it past the first cut in spring training. Take it all the way to some actual big league games.
He's filled in nicely for the Nationals, what with all their injuries.
When asked why he stayed with it to this late age, he said, well, even if I went out into the job force and got a job, my AAA money was still more than I could make. And he said, I'm going to play until they tear the uniform off me. He loves the game that much.
Meanwhile, Howell has fallen behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Missing the corner, 3-0.
Talk about the rust that happens to all players, the everyday players going through the All-Star break. Well, J.P. Howell hasn't been on a competitive mound since the 10th against Milwaukee. He threw an inning that day and gave up only a hit, so he had a clean inning, but it's a long time to have not been out there and now be in a jam.
3-1.
Feast or famine in the bullpen as far as work.
Pedro Baez warming in the Dodger bullpen, so conceivably Robinson would be the only hitter that Howell faces. We'll find out soon enough. 3-2.
JP's not sharp right now. The 2 strikes that he's thrown have been up in the strike zone. They've been off speed, and Robinson hasn't offered at them, but he wants to get the ball down a little bit lower.
Full count, so Escobar from second and Harper from first will get the head start on the pitch. Bases are loaded.
That 4th out is coming hard for the Dodgers. J.P. Howell in charge of getting that right now. Rick Honeycutt on the phone checking to see if the bullpen is ready. Justin Turner giving a little bit of a delay right here, and even Adrian Gonzalez wandering in.
So all signs point to Mattingly coming out of the dugout, and here he comes after advice from Rick Honeycutt. So Baez will come in to face Wilson Ramos with the bases loaded and 2 out. In the bottom half of the 7th inning, we're tied at 3. Mattingly points to the bullpen. Baez is on his way in when we come back. presents Friday Night Fireworks. Come out July 31st and take your place on the field for a fireworks show featuring music from the 1980s. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Pedro Baez, a hard-throwing right-hander, coming in with a mess to clean up. Bases are loaded. There are 2 outs. It's a 3-3 tie in his 24th appearance. Of course, he's a strikeout pitcher by trade. Wilson Ramos, 0 for 3, is coming up. And right now, outside of perhaps Bryce Harper, there's nobody Washington would rather have facing Pedro Baez. Ramos, in his career, with the bases loaded, is hitting .396. He is 19 for 48 and has 1 grand slam. So this is the biggest moment of the game that began last night at 5 after 7. And here it is. It's nearly 10-3. And we are tied at 3. Ramos last night struck out and bounced to short twice. On the year, 8 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Escobar, Harper, and Robinson are the base runners. There's a strike, and it's 0-1.
The way this game is played out is it's kind of why I'm not a cricket fan. Those games go on forever.
And they break for tea.
Exactly. We break for lights.
It's like we broke to sleep.
Well, those were broken lights, is what they were.
Well, Pedro Baez has inherited 19 runners this year and only allowed 3 to score. So he's got 22 now he's inherited. We're going to see if he can keep it at 3.
Well, it's 0-2.
Ball looks like a strike, ends up a ball. It gets a swing, and boy, it might have caught the corner. It was an excellent pitch.
Ramos has been struck out 52 times in about 270 at-bats. So he can be had. The count is 0-2. 1-2.
Well, pitching is a bunch of good mistakes. Not only making good pitches, but good mistakes. And right there, Pedro made a mistake, but he made it in a good spot. He didn't get the ball wide where Yasmani wanted it, but he did keep it down.
3-3 tie. Bases loaded. 2 out, bottom of the 7th. The 1-2. Got him! Baez comes in and gets the job done, striking out Wilson Ramos. Nearly a .400 hitter in his career with the bases loaded. The Nationals leave 3. We go to the 8th, tied at 3. Again at 5 after 7 last night. We had played an hour and 34 minutes. We're delayed by 2 hours and 2 minutes picked up where we left off at 5 after 2 this afternoon, and we're all knotted at 3, and wouldn't you know it, Gonzalez has knocked in all 3 for the Dodgers. Yunel Escobar knocked in 2 of the 3 for the Nationals, and here is Casey Janssen, their 4th pitcher of the day. That was the DraftKings game summary, by the way. Justin Turner leads off in the 8th inning. Turner last night flied to center, hit by a pitch, and come around to score on the Gonzalez home run. And 15 hours and 23 minutes after the game was suspended last night, Turner led off by striking out in the 6th inning this afternoon. Casey Janssen's 19th appearance. 7 runs, 15 hits in 16 1/3 innings. Turner, Gonzalez, and Grandal will bat for the Dodgers here in the 8th. Loop down the right field line, and it's foul.
Well, if there's an underbelly to the National bullpen, or somebody that really is not a flamethrower, really relies on command, that's Casey Janssen. This is not somebody who's going to blow it by you, so the Dodgers really can capitalize, looking for a mistake or looking to put the ball in play and find some outfield grass.
Went to UCLA, lives in Manhattan Beach. Came up with the Blue Jays in 2006. Turner from Bellflower takes a call, 3rd strike. Now a look at our Arco top tier plays. One from last night. Gonzalez's 2-run home run. Just there. And one that went the other way. His 20th of the year. He has knocked in all 3 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Adrian takes the ball. But Gonzalez now with 20 home runs and 58 runs batted in.
So he's had a home run in the last 2 days, I guess, or 1 game.
1 game, 2 days.
Okay.
And the game prior, right? Before the All-Star break?
Coming into the break, Gonzalez had 8 hits in 12 games. 6 of the 8 hits were home runs. And coming out of the break, he's had 2 hits, 2 home runs. The Dodgers, National League leading 115 home runs. And almost 48% of their runs have come by way of the home run. Grandal on deck. And while those are big, fat, glamorous, and gaudy numbers, it doesn't necessarily portend good things down the stretch.
Adrian's consistency is fantastic. His power is awesome, but the consistency needs to come from the whole lineup, and especially against quality pitching.
That's a fair ball. More to Janssen, and there's 2 out.
Well, we were talking about yesterday about the consistency, the consistent lineup that every manager would like to put out there, and that comes with the players being consistent at the plate to allow Don Mattingly. But I'll tell you, there's one thing that's right inconsistently is that Adrian Gonzalez will either be in the 3 or 4 spot.
And he's going to hit himself near 30 home runs and knock in something over 100. And hit around 300.
Until Father Time catches up with Adrian, he's going to figure out a way to drive people in. He just has a great approach.
Grandal, nothing in 2.
And because of Adrian's injury history, he's learned multiple ways to get hits and multiple swings. And this is the place in his career right now where he has all the assets, all the attributes of being able to deal with injuries, being able to deal with a fantastic healthy body and what to do with that.
Grandal down on strikes, and Jansen comes in, retires the Dodgers in order, strikes out Turner and Grandal along the way. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers and Nationals remain tied at 3. .400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. So Baez comes in the bottom of the 7th with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and strikes out Wilson Ramos to get out of that mess. Here we are in the 8th inning. Ian Desmond, Tyler Moore, and Michael Taylor will bat. Desmond is 0 for 3. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Desmond with 7 home runs, 24 runs batted in. And that's great closer Drew Storen is warming up in their bullpen. Desmond has bounced to short. Foul to Gonzalez, fly to right. Lays off the slider. One ball and 2 strikes to Ian Desmond. Hitting just .209. Desmond out of Sarasota, Florida. He spent his entire career in the Nationals organization. Turns 30 in September, and the count is 2-2. A career .270 hitter. Hit 24 home runs, 91 runs last year. He knocked in. But now at .209 and 7 home runs and 24 runs batted in. So he's struggling. The short right center. Kendrick, this time he finds it. He raised his hands as if, uh-oh, I might have lost it again. But Yunel Escobar, who received the largesse of the misplayed pop-up to Kendrick back in the 7th inning, watches Desmond pop to Kendrick here in the 8th.
See, Yasiel was flying in to think, okay, I got to help Howie because he wasn't there the last time, and just in case he couldn't find it. Howie had that one all the way.
The only guy I played with that never really lost the ball in the sun was Omar Vizquel. And on the ball that Howie lost, Nomar would turn around and put his back to home plate and use the brim of his cap as the block. And it was really odd when I got over there leaving the Dodgers going to the innings and watching him do that, because it was like, oh my gosh, he's lost it. But that was his way of catching it.
Oh, yeah, skill, of course.
I've seen him do two things. He would turn around to use it to block the sun. Yep. And then there were other times when he was running to the outfield to the ball where his back was toward home plate going to get it, and he would flip off the hat. So the brim wouldn't be in his way so he can see the ball. So he just, the little nuances and everything he did, he was so fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, you had your own tricks, Nomar. So we're not going to put him above you. You guys are on the same plane.
No, I always say it. I go, just one day I wanted to know what his hands felt like out there fielding a ground ball, because they were. I would go out and try to go watch him take ground. If we already had batting practice, I'd go in there, change real quick so I can come out and just watch him practice and watch him take ground balls, because just wanted to see if there was anything I could pick up, but. Just watch.
It's hard to pick up because his hands were so fast.
They were so fast, and they were so smooth, so soft, everything.
I'd play catch with him, and I'd never see the ball touch his glove. You know it did, but he deflected into his bare hand.
Yeah.
Off the heel of his glove.
He could deflect it that way. His hands were so quick. His feet were incredible as well. It seemed like it seemed like he never got a bad hop.
No.
And that's just getting his body in the right position so he wouldn't get a bad hop.
And it was not out of the ordinary where he would catch a routine pop-up with his hand and glove behind his head.
Yeah, just for fun, because he was bored.
And you'd look and say, that's not possible.
And it was like...
separate his hands really quick, too, as he did it. Like, voila. He was like a magician.
He would act like this is boring. Like, almost like the catch. Like, really, I got to catch this? And it was a tough play as he's running to get to the spot to catch that.
Tyler Moore on 2-2 with one out in the bottom of the eighth.
Oh, it hit Pedro's hat.
Moore with a one-out single to center. And Baez is lucky it's only the hat.
Speaking of the lid, looks like it deflects off the brim of his cap. Take a closer look here. I think we'll see the deflection. Fortunate. Oh, it hits the top right above the LA. That's when you're glad you got a lot of hair.
Well, he's okay. I mean, obviously. Going,
wow. You know, yesterday in this same game, we saw Andre Ethier hit one up the middle at Jordan Zimmerman, and kind of did a double take because Andre hit it off the end of the bat. That one was hit solidly, and Pedro didn't have time to react.
Michael Taylor is the hitter, and he's 0 for 3. Taylor starting in center field with Denard Span on the DL.
How much does that shake you up as a pitcher, Oral?
You just have to move right on quickly. If it's with you, you're in trouble. You know, it's part of the game that you know can happen. You can take it off the shin, you can take it off the noodle, get it off your chest, but you just have to move on.
Imagine not unlike a hitter.
That's what I was wondering, because I know as a hitter the same way. It's like, all right, they threw that one up and in, knock you off your feet.
You default to the emotion of anger instead of fear.
I would always get closer after that. I would get closer to the plate after that instead of moving away. Yeah.
It's almost like let's go.
Taylor with 6 home runs and 32 runs batted in. 1-1. 97 from Baez. Taylor's been struck out 80 times in 235 at-bats. So he's hitting less than 250, and he's striking out over 250. Too late on the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Adam Libator going to work in the Dodger bullpen. Matt Den Decker is in the on-deck circle. He's a left-handed hitter. Tied at 3 with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Looking ahead to the 9th for the Dodgers. Puig, Ethier, and Rollins will bat. Remaining on the bench, Cayaspo, Van Slyke, and Ellis. Kike Hernandez was used last night. Alex Guerrero was used this afternoon. On 1 and 2.
Sal took the mound today, He was the first reliever behind Bolsinger, of course, and there were 6 more than behind him. But now it's getting a little thin. Pedro Baez out there. This is probably going to be his last inning. And then Libator, Nicasio, and Jansen after that. And
let's not forget we've got a full 9-inning game after that, and the Dodgers and Nationals, because of last night's craziness, will have a 26th man on the roster, and the Dodgers will announce who that is, who the mystery guest is, immediately after this game.
I'm sure both clubs will probably add a pitcher.
On 1 and 2, just tied.
Comforting to know that Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke are going the next 2 games, so the innings eaters as far as the rotation are concerned for the Dodgers and Don Mattingly.
So the Dodgers now in the midst of a 10-game, 10-day road trip. Small potatoes compared to the 34 and 34. Turner, Kendrick, not in time. Taylor, a very fast runner. And so he takes the place of Moore at first.
Justin Turner gave him a shot at this, though. Go all the way around the horn. Watch Justin release this ball right away. He's got his footwork and the angles right there. Nomar, he did a very nice job.
He made sure. He wanted to make sure he gave a good feed over there to Howie Kendrick at second base.
So with Libator warming in the bullpen, Den Decker being announced, it is Honeycutt who is coming out to talk with Baez and Grandal and Jimmy Rollins. Turner now joining the discussion. So they're going to stay with Baez apparently. Not go lefty-lefty.
Well, instead of assuming that they understand the scouting report on the pinch hitter, I think Rick Honeycutt just reassuring Pedro Baez and Yasmani Grandal what they want to do right here.
Matt Den Decker, former Met, 5 for 24 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Well, that's also things, Warren, you can talk about in your days as a pitching coach. You're not just necessarily talking about mechanics. You are researching who these guys are that you rarely, if ever, see, and then have to provide whatever information you can to the young fella Baez in this case. Into right field, Puig going back, way back, and gone. Matt Den Decker with a pinch hit 2-run home run. And the Nationals take a 5-3 lead. Well, whatever he said didn't work.
Well, I'm sure the conversation included the runner at first and Taylor because of the wheels. And I'm sure it included something on Den Decker, but it probably didn't include leaving the fastball up and out over the plate. But Den Decker did a nice job turning around a very high velocity pitch.
So the Nationals 5-3 on the Matt Den Decker pinch hit home run. Yunel Escobar fouls it back and it's 0-1. Well, that's a crushing blow to the Dodgers.
And when the lights went out the first time last night, Dodgers were up 2-1. They came back on. They gave up 2 and went down. Came back on and went off so quick they weren't able to catch up. And then quickly today in the day game get the solo shot by Adrian Gonzalez and tie it up. And look like they're really back into this thing. Start this road trip and this series off on a good note. But that changed the tune right there.
Escobar on 1-1. Into right. And Puig is there. And that's going to do it. Matt Den-Decker, who began the year at AAA, at the end of spring was traded over from the Mets for the lefty Jerry Blevins. Well, the Dodgers now need 2 as we go to the 9th. Baez with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. That is the difference in the ball game. He takes over in left field. Clint Robinson, as Drew Storen is now on relief, looking for his 28th save of the year. Storen's father is a longtime sports talk show host in Indianapolis, Mark Patrick. I remember when Drew was in high school, Mark would be talking about, my kid's going to go to Stanford. My kid's going to make it to the major league. Well, he has, and Mark, a great broadcaster in his day. And Drew, as a result, is a big fan of the broadcasting industry. When the Nationals were last in, Drew came up to the booth and had Vin autograph a microphone for him.
Oh, how nice.
So it's come full circle. Mark's kid is on the hill to face Yasiel Puig in the 9th. We always hear from parents, oh, my kid's going to do this. He's going to,
Through a father's and a mother's eyes.
Yeah. Mark knew from what he spoke.
Well, if 10 million parents say it, a few are going to be right.
Yep. In the case of Storen, he has been just great since he came up. But a couple of postseason episodes has kind of put a blemish on his overall career. But you look at what he has done from the time he arrived to the point where he is now.
He's had a very good career.
He certainly has. Puig, Ethier, and Rollins here in the 9th. 2-1.
1-0 with 27 saves this year. He's throwing the ball well. Andre Ethier, check him out from the on-deck circle.
Drew 6'1", 195 pounds. Came up with the Nats in 2010. This is outside.
Well, this is a pitch Nomar. The Yasiel's got to know his job.
He has to go look at one spot. Just one spot, really keyhole. Say if he makes a mistake right here, I can be aggressive in that. Other than that, I get to take.
Sitting on 3-1. Well, takes a walk.
And that was a good job by Yasiel. Not only just taking that walk, but that was one of those that borderline pitches that could have been a strike. And we've seen Yasiel at other times where he's actually swinging at that pitch, maybe swing and miss or fouling it off. But that's the situation where you're going, okay, what's the ball I can really handle, possibly drive? If it's the inner half, that's what I feel my strength. That's where he's looking, so he's able to spit on that outer half.
Andre Ethier has only faced Storen twice. 0 for 1 and a walk. Rollins on deck. Jimmy's 2 for 6 against Storen. Drilled into center field for a base hit. The Dodgers have a pulse here in the 9th.
Well, Andre's really earned that base hit because he swung the bat well so far in this game. I mean, from last night, line drive back at the pitcher. He hit a deep fly ball to center field. Earlier, line out to the second baseman, and here's another line drive right back up the middle. Finally, not at anybody, and it finds some outfield grass.
So this game is a night-day single-header.
Night-day single-header, and now the Dodgers need to find out a way to try to tie this game up and possibly take the lead.
Jimmy Rollins 0 for 3. Alberto Callaspo in the on-deck circle. That big 2-run pinch hit home run by Matt Den Decker in the bottom of the 8th, the difference in the game. Rollins takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Well, here you see the change in the game and the culture from what the numbers guys will tell you. In my day, and maybe even in your day, Nomar, maybe not in the American League side, but this would be a bunt situation.
Get the tying runs into scoring position. Rollins to center field. And Taylor is there. Well, that would be an unproductive at-bat. The Dodgers are down to their final 2 outs.
We were just talking about earlier about the small ball, possibly the little things. And like you said, a lot of the numbers, today's game, they're saying, well, the numbers say, no, I don't want to move them over.
I don't want to give up and out.
Yeah, don't give up and out.
And you're not guaranteed that the bunt will actually move them over. You're not guaranteed that the bunt won't turn into a double play.
So they like the odds with him swinging the bat.
So there's 1 out. Callaspo has done a solid job coming off the bench for the Dodgers. And the deal was sent Uribe to Atlanta. Nothing in 1. Jock Peterson is on deck.
But or I know that's what the numbers say. But as a pitcher, if you're on the mound, isn't it different pitching with man on first and second as compared to second and third, and that's the tying run on second base?
Yeah, it's definitely different as far as what pressure you feel is and your pitch selection.
Well, you give up a single and there's a fly ball into left center. Den Decker is there. So now there's 2 out, and it's up to Jock Peterson. Peterson 1 for 4. Single to left last night and struck out twice. Got aboard on an error in the 7th. Peterson 20 home runs, 40 runs batted in.
2 of the 3 things that he does most often, the home run and the walk, would be good right here.
Has 3 home runs in his last 37 games. Takes a strike, 0-1.
Breaking ball that caught the outside corner. But even if Jock walks here, Howie Kendrick has been one of the most clutch hitters on the Dodgers.
371 with runners in scoring positions. Kendrick. They got to get there first.
Everybody in the league knows now that Jock's a free swinger. Everybody in the league knows that he doesn't have a two-strike approach. So I wouldn't think he's going to get anything near the strike zone for at least 2 pitches. He's going to have to be disciplined and really feast on a mistake if he gets one.
2 pitches, maybe 4. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Puig led off the inning with a walk. Ethier single to center, but Rollins flied to center. And Callaspo flied to left. And the Dodgers are now down to their final strike. One ball, 2 strikes. Two out, 9th inning. 5-3 Nationals. Storen deals.
That's a great take right there. You could see the body was committing, but he was able to hold his hands back.
That looked like it started off as a strike coming out of Storen's hand, and then it just moved to a ball. And Jock recognizing that and able to hold up.
Dodger lead over the Giants at the moment is 4 games. The Giants won in 12 last night. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. 9th inning. Dodgers trail by 2. Into left field, slicing. Foul. And not by much. It's the 3rd time today Peterson has hit the ball the other way.
Just barely foul.
Just foul.
Couple of chairs, but that's beyond the foul pole. So you know at the foul pole that is much closer.
Did you think when he swung and hit that he had a chance of going out?
No chance at all. That's got to be. The flags are blowing out to left, and Adrian Gonzalez's ball earlier, the solo shot that tied this game earlier, really carried to left field.
That's the 3rd at bat in this game where he has hit the ball the other way, something we did not see very much the first half of the season.
That was a more disciplined approach, a little bit of an emergency swing.
Two and 2 to All-Star Jock Peterson. He's the lead run at the plate. He's also potentially the last out of the game. Time call. Again the 2-2 with 2 on and 2 out. Storen to Peterson. That's going to do it. Peterson is struck out. A 2-run pinch hit home run in the bottom of the 8th by Matt Den Decker is the difference in the ball game as the Nationals hang on and beat the Dodgers 5-3. He went around according to third base umpire Doug Eddings, and for Peterson it was his 3rd strikeout of the game and the 3rd out of the night. Washington 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. The Dodgers 3 runs, 6 hits and 1 error. And now it is time for the Lexus play of the game. Matt Den Decker. A pinch hit home run with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th off Pedro Baez would turn out